The energy right now is that you found a workaround. The thing is about you, even when you're lost, you're not really lost. Even when it looks like things aren't working out for you, they really fucking are. Even when it seems like bad luck, you are highlighting things. You are aligning with things. You know, everybody at work thinks I'm a jinx. Everybody at work thinks I've got the worst luck. Because somehow, some way, I always have an emergency on my shift. Medical emergencies, police visits, weird parking situations. Even like weird stuff. Weird stuff happens when I work. Hold on. But I think what they don't understand is that every one of those situations wound up bettering us in some way. Let's adjust this. When the weird parking situation happened, we figured out that we needed to re-up a contract in order to make sure that we were able to deal with situations like that in the future. We wound up benefiting from the scenario. Today, somebody had a medical emergency. They had a bad fall. There was an injury, and she wound up totally okay. It was fine. It was still an emergency. Still had to call an ambulance, but I met someone in the emergency. That was, I think, some kind of ordained, divinely guided situation. She works somewhere else. It's still within the company, but a totally different building. I would not have crossed paths with her. I mean, we've apparently walked past each other 100 times, but like we don't work in the same building regularly. And it's never like the kind of situation where we would get to know each other. But I got to know her because we had to correspond for this emergency. And we ended up talking afterwards. And, you know, it's funny how we all mirror each other's journey to a degree. She's been through a lot of the same things I have. She knows people who have been through a lot of the same things I have. She knows other people that have had weird name changes that have more significance than it seems on the surface level. And I think meeting her was an important step, an important shift for me. And on the way home, there was some kind of emergency that shut down an intersection. It was the only way I knew how to get home. And I had to reroute, course correct. I had to figure it out. I had to backtrack a little bit, try a new way, wind up somewhere that I felt uncomfortable, where I didn't know where I was going. And then I could finally course correct. But the first 3-4 times I tried, it routed me back to that same intersection just through different routes. And the message here is that even when you're lost, you're not really lost. Even when something's happening, like an emergency, you are being divinely guided to the people that you are meant to interact with, to the people that you're meant to be around. You are a catalyst. You highlight things that need to be fixed for the future. So that innocuous parking situation that was really fucking crazy when it happened highlighted something that needed to be resolved so that next time we could do something about it when it really mattered. These are small things. Big things. Maybe both at the same time. But every single thing that happens is preparing you for something else. And it's not a coincidence that I received this emergency training right before I had to deal with all these medical emergencies. It's not a coincidence that I had to deal with one on my very first shift. Yeah, something crazy always happens when I'm there. But it's because I'm a catalyst. My very presence brings out opportunities to grow, to change, to fix opportunity gaps. My very presence, your very presence, brings out these opportunity gaps to be addressed. It brings out insecurities in other people because they measure themselves against you. Sometimes without cause. And sometimes it's really just preparation for something else. You're being guided to flow here because everything has a reason and a purpose. Nothing is wasted, nothing is lost. And you've been in this, I wanted to call it a hermit mode. I wanted to call it a rest mode, but it's not. Because you haven't been resting. You've been grinding so fucking hard. I have. I think you have too if you're aligned with this message. And sometimes, right now, it can feel like you're not making any progress, but it's not obvious on the surface yet. It will be. Give it time, because you're not quitting. You're not slowing down. You're not doing less. You're not being less. You're not missing anything. It's all aligned because you are doing the work. And, I came to the realization that last year, this is right around when we were going through the regalia tests. Gratitude for the Chintamani. The key, I think, is recognizing opportunity. Being willing to take action towards it. Willing to open the door. The mirror, karmic reflections. Pieces of yourself in other people that trigger you. How you respond to those. And finally, the sword of wisdom, discernment. These are physical objects, magical manifestations, and spiritual concepts being embodied in the physical world. And after that message about gratitude that happened like on this day last year, I had that message immediately afterward about the Phoenix Catalyst, my nonprofit, my 501c3, which is in the process of being approved right now. I should know soon. And seeing it a year later, almost to the day, of saying like the test was gratitude. And that allowed my dream, my ambition, my purpose to come into fruition a year later when the spirits had this energy building up and building up and building up. But I wasn't supposed to act yet. It was always just on the back burner until the other night when it started pouring out of me. And I finalized and conceptualized everything. I elected my board of directors. I have everything finished. Every I is dotted, every T is crossed. And the only thing left to do is go through the steps one day at a time until it's done. And I'm so grateful that I've been able to do this. I'm so grateful that divine timing is what brought it to fruition. I'm so grateful that Spirit layered everything the way that they did. I'm so grateful for every step that led me here, and every missed opportunity wasn't the opportunity that I thought it was. Course correction. Because sometimes you keep on trying to get through that intersection, right? You keep on trying to go that way instead of going to the scary place, the other direction that you don't know where it leads. And that winds up being exactly where you needed to go in order to get where you were going. I hope this made sense to somebody. I love you guys. It's all been worth it.